What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another trade recap. Today is April 2nd, Thursday, 2026. And today I'm going to be going over the one trade that I ended up taking. I took a win of $900 across two accounts. So that's $1,800 on the day. So let's go over the price action, why I ended up taking the trade that I ended up taking, and why I banged today on this A plus setup. So this is the trade that I ended up taking. It was a 5 minute long. But let's go ahead and get into what happened on the day here. Let's go into replay mode. Market opened right here, lad. 9:30. Let's go on 9:30 exactly, actually. So this is what I wanted to see today. Let's go into 9:25. Boom, 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 boom. What is this, bro? Yeah. So coming into the day, let's go on the 4 hour actually. So coming into the day, I was looking at the chart right here. Basically, this is what I was seeing. I was seeing that we had a 4 hour gap right here, as well as another 4 hour gap right here. And we had also just tapped into a 4 hour gap down here. We had tapped into this 4 hour gap and took out this 4 hour internal low down here. And if we go ahead in the daily, on the daily chart too, we are inside of this daily gap. So what does that mean? We could low-key bounce off of it. Now, I was neutral at the beginning, but I'll tell you why. Well, I'll tell you guys why I switched my bias to bullish. So if you go on the 1 hour chart, we can see that we also had this 1 hour internal high right here and a 1 hour gap above that as well. So you can see this is also another 1 hour gap. So what ended up happening was market opened, and right when market opened, we can also see that this 4 hour gap right under this 1 hour internal high was a London high as well. So right when market opened, what did we do? We tapped into this 15-minute gap and unfortunately left this high, or actually fortunately in my case. So when we ended up leaving this high, what happened? I was like, okay, bet we could either come back up to it or we could displace lower and take shorts from there. So this was the exact same scenario as yesterday. We had tapped into this 5 minute gap, tapped into this 15-minute gap, and then ended up respecting it. I was like, wait, what are we gonna do here? Because I would have low-key been able to take shorts off of this 15-minute and 1 hour gap to this 15-minute internal low, or take longs to the 4 hour gap, which was also London highs. So when I saw that we were respecting this 15-minute gap and this 5 minute gap, and I think it was a 30-minute gap as well. Yeah, it was a 30-minute gap here. I ended up looking for shorts. Now what ended up happening was we ended up leaving that high, opening up a 5 minute gap right here. So I was like, bet this is low-key the same scenario as yesterday. That should have played out, but unfortunately it didn't. And as you guys know, I don't like catching one-to-ones. That's mainly why I faded it, but also I faded it because I didn't get an entry. So I was waiting for this 5 minute to inverse. I saw Patty did take it at the 3 minute gap. Wait, where was this 5 minute? What is going on? Sorry, guys. So yeah, I saw Patty did end up. So this is the 5 minute gap right here that I was looking for to inverse. Patty ended up taking it at this 3 minute gap. I guess he had conviction in it. So he ended up taking it at this 3 minute gap right here. And yeah, I was looking to take it on the 5 minute gap, but it was really a pattern trade, so I didn't know if I should take it or not. So whatever. This 5 minute gap did end up running without us, hitting this 15-minute internal low, as well as tapping into this 5 minute gap right here. What ended up happening was, for me to take longs, I wanted to see this 15-minute low get hit right here. And that's the same reason why I didn't take this 1 minute when it inversed. Because if we were going to inverse this 1 minute, I wanted a little bit more confirmation. As you guys can see, we got a crazy displacement though. Like boom, right away. Instantly displaced through that 1 minute. I was like, okay, well, we're about to open up this 5-minute gap above right here. I'm going to wait for this to open. And if we inverse this 5-minute gap right here, then I'll take it because that's more confirmation. But if we end up tapping into this 5-minute, coming back down and sweeping this 15-minute low, then I'll be down to take longs. But I'm not going to take longs off of that initial 1 minute gap right here until we sweep this low. Because when we get close to liquidity pools like this, I don't want to risk taking a position against it when we just leave it like that. So we ended up inversing this 1 minute. Some people took it from this 1 minute right here, stops at the body closure or the wick, targeting London highs. But I didn't end up doing that. I waited until the 5-minute opened up, which I think it opened up on, yeah, as you guys can see, we got really close to coming back down and stopping people out anyways. But what ended up happening was the 5-minute ended up opening and I waited for it to inverse. After that inverse right there, I placed my position. Boom. Stops under this candle, because if we are really high up like this, there is no reason for us to come back down and do anything down here. We shouldn't even come back down to this candle right here. So yeah, ended up what did I get? Yeah, I got 1 to 9.4. So this was my fill right here. So right when it inversed, I took the long right there, targeting the 4-hour high, the 4-hour gap, which was also London high and a 1-hour internal high. Then ES at this point had, where was it? Where did it take that? Where did it take my break even? Yeah, so ES at this candle right here. Yeah, so at this candle right here, I had my stop set to break even. This candle right here. And my stop set to break even, so now it's a risk-free trade. And then what ended up happening was we ended up flushing through. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful. I think on this candle as well. Yeah, it was this candle. ES had already taken the high. So I ended up trailing my stop to the body of this candle right here. Trailed my stop and then boom, smacked full TP. Absolutely A+ trade, A++++++. That's what you wait for. Literally absolutely beautiful. I'm glad I waited for that 5-minute to inverse, because I did see some people take it from the 1 minute inverse, but I was like, nah, we're too close to that low, and I'd rather see more confirmation. Bang, got that 5-minute confirmation that we were going to the upside, and that's how I banged on the day. Absolutely A+. Hopefully I pass these accounts in the next 1 or 2 trading days. I think, yeah, 2 trading days. Hopefully I do. But yeah, that's a trade recap for today. 1W, $900 across 2 accounts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, turn on post notifications to get notified every time I upload a trade recap. And go ahead in the description and follow my Instagram and TikTok, because I'll be dropping sauce on there. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.